Okay, write an equation for 3 more than twice A. 3 more than twice A is 24. So twice A would be like this, plus 3 equals 24. Okay, 2 times A plus 3 is 24. All right, a square has a side length of 8 feet. Find the area of the square using this formula. So this is going to be my S. Area equals S squared. So area equals 8 squared. So the area is 64 feet squared, if we're talking area. A rectangular serving tray is 26 inches long and 18 inches wide. What is the serving tray's area? How do you find area of a rectangle? Length times width. And this is inches and inches. 26 times 18 is 468 inches squared. Okay? All right. For this one, you're going to rewrite equations and formulas. It's kind of a lot of writing, so stay with me, okay? This says solve for x. Right now, x is in the middle of all this stuff, so I want you to circle it. And we want it by itself. No, you're just rewriting. You're not solving for a number. You're going to move the equation around so x is by itself. So the first thing you do is undo addition and subtraction, and then you undo multiplication and division. Those are kind of the rules of thumb here. So we want x by itself. It's being multiplied by q and has p being added to it. So I got to subtract p. Now this looks kind of weird. Okay, now watch what this will look like. This goes away.
Oh, I got it.
I still have q times x, and I'm just going to write r minus p because I can't do anything else. I don't know what those numbers are. So x is almost by itself. What do I have to do now?
Divide by q.
Divide by q.
And then you just...
Okay, so now this is what it's going to look like. So watch, yep. X is going to equal, now here's what I'm going to do. Just stay with me a second. I'm going to change this to adding a negative. When I'm dividing this side by q, I'm actually dividing each thing by q. So I could write it like this. For this one, I would accept either answer, but ultimately you're going to have to split it up. So stay with me. We'll do a couple more of these. Okay? Just stay with me. So I would accept either this or that. It doesn't matter. Either way. Or. Let's do another one. Okay. Here I have to solve for x as well. I'm going to change that to adding a negative. And I need x by itself. So I'm going to circle x. That's what I'm trying to get by itself. What's the first thing I do here? Yes, we're going to undo this addition. So I'm going to subtract a. That goes away. I have negative bx equals c minus a. Hold on. I'm going to change this to adding the opposite because it's subtract. Everybody ready? Because it's c minus a, I changed it to plus a negative. C minus a, and I just changed it to adding a negative. And this is why. I'll show you why. It's important that you do that. Now I have to divide by negative b. I'm going to divide each of these by negative b. You with me? Let's look at c. Now let's make it pretty. We got c over negative b plus, oh, what happens here? Negative divided by a negative becomes a what? Positive a over b. That's why it's important that you rewrite it like that. Okay? All right. Write negative 2x plus 3y equals 6 so that y is a function of x. Y is the poop. X is the food. So we have to solve for y. We want to know the output. So we have to solve for y. So I'm going to rewrite this down here. No, you don't start with that. You want y by itself. It's being multiplied by 3, and it has this stuff being added to it. We got to undo addition first. So we got to get rid of this whole chunk by adding 2x to both sides. (3y) equals, and I can just write it like this, 6 plus 2x. Do not write 8x. Why not? Why can't we write 8x? Because they're not like terms. You can't add them together. Okay, so now I got to divide everything by 3.
You have to write x equals
Where?
once you get the answer, that you have to write.
Watch this. Let's just watch. So when I divide everything by 3, this can become prettier. Can it? Okay, so this is going to become y equals, what's 6 divided by 3? 2. This I'm just going to leave as a fraction. 2/3 x comes out. And that's your answer. That's as far as you can go. Could you also write it like this? Y equals 2/3 x plus 2. Are those the same thing? Yes. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Would it work if you just did 6 plus 2x and divide by 3 and just leave it like
No.
that? Okay.
I want you to take it further. Okay? Same thing here. I'm going to write it down here because there's not a lot of room up there. So that y is a function of x. That means x is the input, y is the output. I have to solve for y. It's being multiplied by 4 and has 5x added to it. So I got to subtract 5x. It is not 15x, is it? Please say no. It's not, Mrs. Burgess. It's not. No, it's not 15x. It's just that. I have a subtraction clerk, so what should I do here? Yeah. Divide by 4. Divide everything by 4. And this becomes this. Y. What's 20 divided by 4?
5.
Plus negative 5/4 x. That's my answer. And you can, because addition you can switch around. Okay? All right, let's do some more on the back here. The area for a rectangle, this is when you're going to rewrite formulas here, is given by this formula, area equals length times width, where L is the length and W is the width. Solve the formula for the length L. So there's the formula. I want L by itself. What should I do? Divide by what? W. Divide both sides by W. There's no A. I want L by itself. L has W being multiplied by it, so I have to undo that. So L equals A over W. So that was part 1. Part 2 says, use the written formula to find the length of this rectangle right here. They gave me A. If I need to know the length, then this is my width, right? This is my A. So I just plug it into my formula. Length is equal to 351 divided by 13. Which equals 27 centimeters. I'm always going to write my L like this because I think it's too confusing. Otherwise, it looks like a 1 if you don't. Okay.
Do like a capital L.
Yeah, capital L is fine. All right, let's do this. Irina deposited $650 in a savings account. After 2 years, her account balance was $682.50. Find the rate of interest for the 2 years. Use the formula A equals P blah, blah, blah. Let's write that down. We're going to use that formula. Where A is the account balance, there's my A. P is the principal. And in case you don't know, principal, does anybody know what principal is when we're talking about a bank account? Right, the initial deposit.
So original.
So this is my P right here. She originally deposited $650. T, R is the rate, and T is the time. How long are we looking at here? So my T is going to equal 2. So I know A, P, and T. It says here, rewrite the formula to isolate R. So that's the first thing I got to do. And then I got to figure out the rate. Oof, so I got R inside here. That's what I got to isolate.
Wait, so what's the rate? Is that what we're finding?
Yeah, we got to get R by itself. Now, initially when I did this, I divided everything by P, and it just became ugly. So then I'm like, okay, well, I don't like that. I'm going to go back up now, and I'm going to distribute P first, which I can do
Why wouldn't you plug it in first?
because of the directions. It says rewrite the formula to isolate R.
Oh, it doesn't say
So
so.
P times 1 is P, plus P times this stuff is just P times R times T. Now I still need R by itself. What should I do now?
Subtract it. No, divide it.
No, I have to undo addition first and then undo multiplication and division. So I have this being multiplied by this, and I have P being added to it. So I have to undo the addition. So I'm going to subtract P from both sides of the equal sign. Now it looks like this. A minus P equals PRT,
Why would it be A minus B?
because I subtracted P.
Oh, I did it on the wrong side.
I still need the R. What's happening here? Is this multiplication? Is this addition? What is this? Okay, if I want to get rid, I'm almost out of time, Amelia. If I want to get rid of some of this stuff and leave R, I can just divide. I can undo that multiplication by dividing everything by P times T.
I thought you couldn't subtract P with its different.
I can't. That's why I just wrote it like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now I have R by itself. I'm not going to split this up because it really doesn't do anything for me to split it up. So I'm just going to leave it like this. I can change that to adding a negative. Oof, that's an ugly one. That's a hard one. That's a challenge problem. Now we're not quite done. Now we have to solve for R, which means we plug in what we know. We plug in what we know.
But there's no like 2 P's though.
Watch. Plug in what you know. What's the A? The A is 682.50. What's the P? 650. So negative 650. Again, I have another P times T. And when you do all of that on the calculator, you get 32.5 on the top, you get 1,300 in the denominator,
This is a big one.
and then you get 0.025 when you do this. But that's not a percentage, is it?
It's 25%.
Remember, if I want to go from decimal to percent, it's not 25%. Please don't say that. Okay, if you want to go from decimal to percent, D to P is to the right, correct? So 2 spots to the right would land you in between there, which is 2.5%. This was a really challenging problem.
Would that be like an advanced reading?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we have time to go over the quizzes because the bells, well, I can hand them back to you and we can go over them tomorrow. Listen to me.